let them know better get out the way when we on the track. We will connect to anybody with an individual mind is down the rep. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to My Positive Perspective today. My name is Jason Dyerline. I'm here with energy therapist Pooja Desai, right? And what you participate in Believe Healing is the name of your company. And the goal of that is to kind of take stress away from somebody who's dealing with a stressful life and just can't really function because they're under so much stress. So if I come to you and I say, Pooja, my job's in trouble, my my kids, my marriage, all these things are going bad, I'm under all the stress, what would you do for me?
What I would do for you, energy therapy works in a lot of different ways. The primary concept behind it is every time you talk to someone or you meet with someone or you connect with someone in any kind of way, there's an energetic exchange that happens not only on the cellular level but on the atomic level. You're actually giving each other electrons. And so energy is really, what I'm tapping into is something that's really, really minute. It's on a fundamental atomic level. It's the energy between the electrons that hold you together. And so it's a subtle way of releasing energy. And so when you're exchanging these electrons, think about how many people you talk to every day. Think about how many people you talk to on a weekly basis. Think about certain people around you who maybe they have attitudes that aren't as positive as happy-go-lucky, or anger, fear, anything like that. You're exchanging those electrons, and then a few weeks later, you start to notice that maybe you're picking up on some of those attributes. You're getting angry, you're getting frustrated, stressful. So you're holding on to all this stuff that might not necessarily be yours. And some people hold on to it for years and years and years, and that's what we tend to call baggage, emotional baggage.
Well, that's great.
It just builds and builds and builds. And so what I do is when you come in, I help to release it. I do it by tapping into a lot of the concepts that quantum physics kind of gives us, fields that are around us, our energetic fields. I work on the meridian system, and I work on it to kind of, it's a mind-body connection. So what happens is whatever you're feeling, you kind of store in your body as impressions, and it gets stuck. And so I work to clear it out energetically. So I do it physically with my hands. I do it very much so by tapping into different modalities that we have, energetic modalities, and I tap into your energetic system and I clear out your meridians and your chakra system. And what tends to happen is it creates a flow, and the resistance tends to be removed. And so a lot of that frustration, that that you're feeling is just released, and it's actually transmuted.
That's great, because I know my show is all about positivity, and I mean it's very, very difficult to be that way, all the time. And when you do, have bad things go wrong, it's one thing to be like, okay, well, I'll just be positive. But sometimes you need some assistance with that, and it sounds like what y'all offer is a kind of like a home remedy way of coping with this negativity.
It's a very holistic and safe way of removing a lot of that residual energy that you've picked up on other people, a lot of emotions, a lot of just impact, that anything that's happened in your life that's caused any kind of trauma leaves an impression or an impact, not only on your memory, not only in the brain, but what people are finding now is it really leaves an impact in your body. And so the more clear you are and the quicker you remove it, the less frequently you're going to act upon those. So if I'm carrying anger and I don't remove it, then obviously it's going to come out some way or another. And it's probably going to be at someone else. But if you remove it in a really safe and gentle way, then you're kind of clear yourself up to kind of fill yourself back up with really good stuff.
It kind of gives you a clean plate, so to speak.
Absolutely, and positivity is really, I always tell people positivity is kind of a projection of what you have inside. So if your cup isn't filled, then what are you going to give to other people? You can't be positive if your cup isn't filled. And so if you're filled with, anger and fear and all of that, that's all you're going to project out. But if you're filled with a lot of good stuff, you're just feeling good, you're feeling good in your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, then that's That's what you're going to give to people. That's what you're going to hand out. So.
Exactly. Be a much more pleasant person to be around.
Absolutely. And you start experiencing a lot of different changes. And when you're like that, you kind of notice how people react to you a little bit differently too.
Definitely.
People pick up on a lot of hostility and stuff. You don't necessarily have to go around yelling at people for people to know that you're hostile or you're angry or you're frustrated or fearful or anything like that. So.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. How can people get a hold of you at believehealing.com
It's
or
www.believehealing.net.
.net? Okay.
I'm located at Neurologic Integrated Health with Dr. Matthew Antonucci, and just come visit if you want.
Sure. We'd love to do that. Well, thank you very much,
Thank you
Pooja.
for having me.
Thank you for watching My Positive Perspective. Have a great day.
It's how we do when we break it down. If you ain't heard the words, then you'll dump one up in your town. This is how we play. Keep it up every time and every day. Gotta get up and get down. Let them know the field ain't fucking around. Gotta keep them going.